this is it. I guess you can.
I see Sweet, Air, G-Lad, K, Air. Aaron, you see, there go Aaron Harvey right there.
All of y'all logged in.
Right in the middle.
Hey, Harvey, what's going on, boy?
What's up, fam? Alright, let's go ahead. Ready? If we can't get that, just do the regular. Yeah, get started.
You found something. We can't hear it.
Send this directly to you. Turn it up. Turn it up so we can hear it.
He jamming over there.
Turn it up so we can hear
Big things happening, y'all.
All right, welcome to Shoes Off Talk. Come on in, welcome in. We're about to get real comfortable, uncomfortable, have some all types of conversations right now. It's your boy Larvell, S. Wit. Don't forget your the S. aka the Chocolate Thunder, aka the Caramel Lover MC, aka the Sun Valley Nino. All right, welcome.
This is your boy Tim McAfee, and on the ones and two we have.
It's your boy Floyd. What's up?
Man, it is such an honor to be back in studio today. Man, I don't, words cannot describe what has happened over the last week. I'm at a loss for words, you know, and so what I've done is I bought 3 additional kings to the table. This is a carryover from last weekend. If you guys saw the show, it was a Meeting of the Minds podcast that we did. This week is we brought them back because things have progressed to a whole new level, and God said He will take you to other levels, and not everybody's going to be able to go to those levels with you, and that's the thing that you have to understand. And man, without further ado, man, let's introduce these guys. Well, actually, I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. First, we got the man with the plan to make it wiggle and jiggle like gelatin. We got our guy over here, Jermaine.
What's going on? I guess I didn't introduce myself last time that much. I'm Jermaine Moore from Lansing, Michigan. Excited to be here. We're doing some big things. I'm raised business manager, friend, partner, and some things. Just the whole nine, man. We're just ready to. I love what you said on the intro. The new Wall Street. We're doing some big things, and hey, it's coming. It's a move. Mm-hmm. It's coming.
And then we have the man in the middle, Jay Boogie.
Yes, sir. How you doing? My name is Jelon Johnson, also known as Jay Steels. I represent Builder's Choice Contracting. I'm here with my brothers. We all building wealth together and have a plan to help out the community. It's just a blessing to be here with brothers who have the same goal in mind and also serving God all together. So with that being said, it's just a blessing to have this opportunity to be here on Shoes Off Talk.
All right. It's great to be back at Shoes Off, and I literally got my shoes off this time. I had a little one-on-one here earlier today with my big bro Tim, so that was cool. So I got home court advantage, first run of the playoffs.
Here we go.
They got the goal up, but obviously, Ray Weather's back in my second home in Arizona, so it's great to be back. Just trying to do what God's called me to do, and just fortunate and blessed to see how He's moving expediently, for His assignment that He has for us. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy and blessed and here to serve a community that's been great to me throughout my playing career with the Suns and also in Europe. So it's great to be here with my family, my Kings, and we're going to educate some people and have fun.
Man, it is, like I said, the last week or so, man, it's really been a whirlwind of events, and like I said, when like to have things done, and we usually want it done in our time, but it's never about you. It's everything's going to happen in God's time, and you know, I think about it like when you talk about stuff like that, the first thing that comes to my head is them old sayings that you used to hear them say in church. Won't he do it? And man, God has went exceedingly and abundantly above everything that we thought was possible with these ventures. I'm not going to steal the show. I'm going to turn it over to Ray, who's the one who's spearheading all of this, man. And if I tell you, God is putting together a superstar team to make this happen. But let me pass it over to Ray so he can give you guys the 411 on what's coming up.
Well, I humbly appreciate it. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, but you know, God's ways are not our ways. So you know, when I first got connected on the podcast, I just got off the plane. It was just, you know, a miracle after miracle. And you know, I always think when I reached out to Tim, I said, hey, you know, I'm in the building. I just found out that, you know, open up the new venue here to do the podcast, and I said, wow, I remember the building. This is incredible. I think I remember the owner here. And next thing you know, after we had a phenomenal time on the podcast, we waited in the parking lot. Obviously, me and Jermaine was just reminiscing, talking about some things and what was our next steps. And the owner comes into the building, Chuck, just outstanding. Hadn't seen him in 5 years. And next thing you know, his wife come out the building. Ray Brothers, I remember you playing. We embraced each other, said some words. His wife said this is divine. And I said, man, we got to be able to do some stuff with the soft launch of the foundation, to train up a champion, what Jermaine is doing, and what my family is doing just to impact the community. And he said, we got to do it because he literally thought we were coming to a performance here. I said, no, I just did a podcast with a great friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time. And so he's like, man, we must connect. It's very imperative, because he said he wanted to do something different with the building. I'm like, okay, well, long story short, people, we had a phenomenal meeting today, and actually we're going to be the running the building, owning the building, all the things involved, and partnering with Mr. Chuck to make sure that we continue to maximize this building at a high level that would impact all the valley, this particular area. And so we want to make sure there's a career pathway that we can show black excellence at the highest level of how we can get a building that we did not build, and that's what God said He has done for us today. So I take no credit for it. I give God the glory in that. I'm just a vessel, but I think that honestly, I keep Him first, and just the relationships. That one meeting that I had 5 years ago, just taking time to meet with Chuck and having conversation, has led to 5 years later. That's my prophetic number. I'm gonna say that again. That's actually my jersey number from Michigan State. Now we have, honestly, joint relationship in owning this building. So it's going to be great to work with this team, continue to grow this team to do miraculous things. So, absolutely.
Man, it goes without saying, man. When you put God first, everything else will be added unto you. We was just having a conversation with Larvell, and he was talking about how some things in his life wasn't happening like he envisioned it. And like I said before, sometimes our vision is not God's vision. And so sometimes we literally have to sit down and let God do His thing.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the message we want to impart to everyone, because we've seen it firsthand. It's actually coming to fruition right now. Who would have thought that a week ago, and this is, and I get chills every time I think about it and talk about it, is when we took possession of our office space, I literally, it was on a Friday, and I told myself in my head, I was like, let's just do the other podcast, do the last podcast from the home office, and then next week we'll start at the new location. And God whispered in my ear, said, no, go now. And so it just worked out to where, one of my co-partners, Floyd, happened to be off work. I told him to get over here. We moving in. And so came over, moved all the stuff in, and right when we moved in, Ray called me and said that, hey, I'm in town. And I'm like, perfect. I said, I want you on the podcast. And just through those few events of happening. Had I not listened to God and Him telling me to come on and move into this building and start your first podcast, none of this would have happened. None of it would have happened. So when God is talking to you, please listen. Please listen. It's just been a blessing in its entirety. We talk about these things all the time, you know, when we have these table forums and what's possible and what we can do, and there's no way in the world that we shouldn't have ownership in everything. Our culture is the strongest culture. Every other ethnicity and every other culture wants to be a part of it. And we had this conversation the other day, man, when we talked about once we realize how much power and authority we have, it is a dangerous thing. We put everybody on edge, and what we are embarking on right now is just that. But we're not trying to scare anybody. We're just trying to let everybody know we're no longer asking for a seat at the table. We have built our own table. And that's what God said. God said He prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemies. He didn't say they'd eat. But we there, man. We're not going to be pigeonholed into saying that we have to do business with just our culture. We're not saying that we're not allowing, you know, people to stick us in the south side or the worst sides of town, and all of us at this table can say that because we all grew up in the roughest neighborhoods of our given cities. And so are we going to reach back, and are we going to be a part of our communities we grew up in? Yeah. But we also want to be that shining and guiding light to let people that look like us know what's possible. We're gonna get some feedback and some conversation from Jay. Man, in a short amount of time that I've known and met this brother, man, I'm so proud at the things that he has going on and where he came from and his story. Just because, bro, we all had that story where we could have been the victim. We could play the victim role and had every right to. But we, instead of us using our failures as an excuse, we decided to use our failures as blueprints to what's in store. And man, Jay is doing big things, but I'm gonna let him tell you about it.
Well, God is good, as Brother Tim said, and He's opened up a lot of opportunities. I started building 20 years ago in Seattle, Washington, then moved out to Arizona, and God opened up a lot of opportunities. We've been here buying a lot of vacant lots, building luxury homes now. My brother Ray is looking at one of the homes. It's going to be his personal home, 4,700 square foot home. We're building the price point of 1.5 million and up. It's just been truly a blessing. And what it's more about, like Brother Tim said, is just showing that brothers can come together and be united. We always see the bad narrative of brothers against each other, and this platform is about how brothers can come together and be successful, and at the same time give God the honor, the glory, and the praise, because that's what it's all about. It's for the kingdom, you know. So it's been such a blessing. I come from Jackson, Michigan, like Ray, a small little small town, but we got big heart.
Come on, man.
And you know, we've been able to go all different places and do big things. I moved here from Seattle, Washington, so I was able to see the best of both worlds. My father sent me back to Jackson, Michigan every summer, so we would move to Seattle, but he sent us back home to keep us grounded. And then we went to Seattle every year, and to Michigan every year, and it was just able to keep me grounded and to be so thankful. Like right now, that's how all us brothers here are. We just, you know, we want to offer opportunity for all different brothers and sisters, and like Tim touched, people of all races. But we have to start with our own first, and that's what we're doing. It's a brotherhood here, and that's what we're creating. And we have all different avenues, from podcasts to building. My company is Builder's Choice Contracting. We have foundations, and it's just a beautiful thing. And it all starts with the platform of having the opportunity to speak to you and bring positivity. And that's what we will continue to do. So this is just a wonderful opportunity. It's just a truly a blessing, and I'm really looking forward for you guys to see more of what's going on.
And tap into, like, how we connected. We hadn't seen each other since I was 17, right?
That's correct.
And literally after we left the podcast, it's amazing that when we're leaving here, I get the call from my lifelong friend Jay Glasgow, what's going on. And then obviously I got a chance to run into Jay and Berdain, like childhood friends.
Yep.
And so when I found out that they was doing, I told Jermaine, man, you got to turn right back around.
Yep.
And just to see people come from where we come from doing these amazing things, like God just moved on it. Even he had saw this building a year and a half ago. So this is prophetic, like how God is just, putting the dots to connecting. So it's just a blessing to be something, a part of something this magnitude, coming from where we're coming from, on top of the movie stuff. I didn't know he did movies and acts, so we're gonna tap into that a little bit later. But I want to chime in on how we got connected. Literally after the podcast that I did last week, I run into him, and then everything else has been moving. So I wanted to jump in and say that.
And let me jump in and make it clear that when we're saying the building, it's a major move. Yeah. This is a $6 million facility. So we're not talking about a small building. This is huge. This is this is a huge opportunity. It's an event center. So for those that are watching, we want you to know there's opportunity here for you also to be able to bring something into this building.
Absolutely.
So it's a wonderful thing, and I'll let you guys take over from there, Tim.
I'm gonna pass it over to Brother Jay over here. Let him give us some shower us a little bit.
Everybody shout out their businesses, but I shout out Harmony Developments. That's what I do a lot of work under. I'm a consultant, so I consult on the different projects. Or so if you're interested in like investing and things like that, I can look over what you're trying to get into. That's one of my strengths, and just the I love just the connections. The bigger your team is, people don't understand, like the stronger your team is, the more work you can get done. And I think this is what God is doing. He's just, adding, not to just put people out, but he's adding juggernauts like to a team that's already like moving, and he's adding people that can add to the fire. So, I just love what God is doing, and for him to, just to show up. It's like we showed up and he gave us a building. That's really kind of how it is. You show up. And you show up in faith, and you'll get a building. Yeah. So just tap into God. Just tap into faith. I think we're reaching out to untested waters. I don't know too many like black luxury builders from where I'm from. We're from the 517, and it was perfect how it all connected. Ray told me, hey, come back. There's some guys from Jackson. They doing luxury building. I started slowing down on the highway right then and there. So just the connection. And the things that we're going to do, and the things that we have planned for this building is just awesome. I can't even say it any greater than that, man. This is a wave, man. People just tap in with us. If you listen to us and you have, I think this. I look at it this way: the right people will show up. When you're doing something great, you're doing something of significance, the right people will show up in your life. So just don't stop. If you don't have it, you will get it. Maybe we'll get it so you can have it. So you got to look at it that way. So just never stop.
All right,
man. We appreciate that, Brother Jermaine. Without further ado, we actually have another intricate piece and very important part. I'm calling this a super team, since that's the verbiage that a lot of people are using as it pertains to sports. I'm gonna let Brother Ray make the introduction to who we have in the waiting room, who will be joining us.
Shout out my big homie, young fella, Mo Williams, 517, man. It's an honor and pleasure to introduce Mo. A guy connected to him several years back. We was at a spot that he was doing some incredible things in there, and now he called me the OG as far as being the blueprint, just taking the sport, going as far as we can go, trying to get out the mud, coming from where we come from, Jackson, guys. If you don't know us, it's real tough to grow up in. There's a lot of things that take place. Most people know about the prison, gun violence, and killings. And so just for him to share some of those things about how he saw me in my life doing what I'm supposed to do, I was very humble. I've always been very, very approachable. So he connected with me, said some things to me. He was like, man, I got some stuff. I'm going to be doing some things. And honestly, he just became just a tremendous professional fighter. In the UCF, MAA. And not only did he do that, he just took his platform and went to a whole different stratosphere in business and all the stuff that he's doing with his team. I ran back into him about I think 2 weeks ago. I was on Facebook and Messenger and just let him know, God put on my heart, just message him, hey man, I'm so proud of you. Just literally God said to me to reach out to him because the energy, I felt the positive energy that we had. And then I think it was a week later, I go downtown Texas to meet a lot of the millionaires that's going to support the Focus 5 Foundation. So we changed it to Focus 5 Foundation, and he was sitting right to the left. And I said, God, your time is just so perfect. So he there with some people, I'm there with some people. And I said, hey man, we got to connect. We ain't had to say a whole lot. Embrace them, say, man, I'm going to holler at you. And the next thing you know, we about to go to a level that I can't even explain. It's moved real expediently. And so I'm extremely proud of you, Mo, just to have you part of our team. We're part of your team where we're going to not just do things in our hometown in the state of Michigan and Jackson, man, but globally. This is a global initiative.
Worldwide.
And so it's worldwide. We're going to keep some things to the chest, but release what you let you release. And it's just an honor to have you to be on the show, bro. Shoes off. If you got your shoes on right now, take them off.
Take them off.
Yeah,
because we're about to have some uncomfortable conversations.
Let's go, Mo.
Mo, we appreciate you coming in, brother.
Uh-oh.
Mo, you gotta unmute your mic. Your mic is muted. We're having a little technical difficulties.
You gotta take your shoes off, Mo, and then your mic can come through.
That ain't gonna stop.
Can you guys hear me?
Stop it. That's gotta be
No, we
released.
don't hear you.
You guys still can't hear me?
Huh?
You can hear him?
You can hear and we can. So you can hear him?
Yeah, tell him to go on. You can't see me. I can see you.
Go
You can
ahead,
hear me?
keep going. But we can't hear him.
Here, give him the headphones so he can talk to him.
Oh, we just gonna improvise.
There
Can you
go.
hear me?
We're just gonna improvise.
No, I'm right here.
Hold on real quick. Maybe I can switch it through.
I thought we could
All right,
hear
Mo, we got
clear,
you.
though. You told me we knew we can. Can you hear Ray?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
My headphones
Okay.
up to the mic, one of the mics, and then his voice will come through.
Yeah.
You know what I
let's
mean?
do it, Let's do it.
All right, so cool. So
Want me to
so
come over
Mo,
here, Mo?
hold on real quick.
But it won't come. Will it come through?
No.
Okay. Bad idea.
It was a good idea.
It was. In theory.
Let's have Mo call into my phone,
Okay.
and then we'll put him on speaker.
Okay.
All right, so tell him.
Yeah.
Hey Mo, so what we're gonna do? We want to do a call into Tim McAfee's
You
phone.
can stay on video.
Stay on video.
Stay on video,
but
but
just
call
call in.
call into my phone.
Awesome. All right.
All right. Stay on this call in.
Thank you too, man.
You're supposed to stay on the video. There you go.
Can you stay on?
Well, while we are waiting for Mo to come in,
Yeah.
you know, just to hear all of this excellence, and you know what, let's tap in on the schools. I know this school is so important right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So part of the Initiative Focus Foundation, you know, all the stuff that we're doing, you know, obviously, yes, we got you. So we want to make sure from an educational
we hear you.
standpoint, just like the podcast, we want to make sure it's a career pathway of young
can
people
go back.
learning how to do podcasts.
Just stay on the phone. Go back.
We want to be able to talk about cybersecurity, business development, athletics. So we want this to be a one-stop shop. And so when the kids leave our school from 6 to post-grad, we want them to have an opportunity to go right into the workforce. Right? They can understand business development, real estate, you know, commercial real estate, construction, all of that stuff. So we want this to be done by people that have master teaching degrees in entrepreneurship, so they're getting high-level service And so I got a chance to get off from playing a professional athlete and been in education for 7 years, and we still not tapped into where we still don't have the services for our people, at-risk people, and that could be whatever color, but for our people of color, I think it's so important right now that we have not just a school, but we have, I call it the Avengers concept, the X-Men facility. You remember how the X-Men had that facility, and that means people were operating their gifting. So when they understood their gifting, they can move in their talent. So having schools, brick and mortar, I think black ownership is absolutely critical, right? I don't think we get enough credit when we talk about the HBCUs, right? So now if you talk about having our own high schools, middle schools, and now we can actually segue into or pivot into the HBCUs. And I think we need to start putting our time, money, talent, and service into that. That's called investment, right? But we can't talk it, we have to be able to live that as well, right? So when you're seeing the Jay, you've seen the Tim, you've seen us at this table, they're seeing that we can be that blueprint, that model.
Correct.
Right? So being able to do this not just in Arizona, we want to take this same model and go bring it over to Africa. You know, I just got fortunate and blessed. We have got confirmed from the president of Congo. We're supporting 100%. And I mean, come on, I'm from Jackson, Michigan, from east side of Jackson, 517, and here it is. We're getting communication from the president of Congo, like the foundation, the school, all the stuff. If you bring 1 million, we're bringing 2 million. You bring 2 million, we're bringing 4 million. Let's build here and create a real bridge program at that continent of Africa where we come from, our ancestors, to America, right? So now we got Zimbabwe, we got Rwanda, Africa, and Angola.
You know, most schools don't even teach you how to balance a checkbook.
No.
You know, they don't give you the life skills. This is literally life skills.
And that's what we need.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Okay, we got Mo. We got Mo on the line now. We had some technical difficulties with our speakers, but we have him on here. Mo, go ahead and tell us who you are, what you have going on. We've got you on speaker, so speak a little loud.
Okay, hey, how you guys doing? Hey, my name is Mo Williams. I'm originally from Jackson, Michigan. I kind of how I got my platform. I started off in doing martial arts since the time I was a kid. I hold a black belt with Taekwondo. I hold a black belt with karate. I competed in them on the national level, and then from there I went on to start doing kickboxing, and then I started getting into MMA. At that time I was originally training right there in Jackson, Michigan, and then I started branching off, taking it among myself to try to, you know, can meet this journey that I was on. And the time that I started, it wasn't a lot really going on. It wasn't a lot of my face when I did it as a kid, and then walking into some of these MMA gyms, it was another journey that I did. But you know, I took it upon myself to really put myself there, put myself forward in the best position that I did. I done, you know, fought on pay-per-view, large stages. Now that, you know, I'm kind of transitioning, I'm still an active fighter, but I'm very adamant in my coaching and my entrepreneurship, me putting myself forward and connecting the dots. And then, like to sum it up, that I ran into Ray. You know, he was a person that I looked up to as a kid. He brought out the blueprint to really for us in Jackson. You know, that you can be more than just, you know, another kid from the Jack. You could actually like make it on the biggest stage and be something. And you know, I'm actually one of the person that I ran with it. It wasn't easy. You know, I mean, I had my ups and downs. I was getting locked up. I was catching cases. You know, I didn't have times I would gamble with my life. I've been on both sides of the fence, and I take it to myself now that I can really save my life back. You know, I can really reach out to the youth. I can, you know, tell my platform on all stages, like, hey, I've been on this side, I've been on that side. You put me in a room, I can mess with anybody. But with the things that I got going on right now, I'm really adamant about trying to bring some, you know, some camaraderie, some, you know, just a different face to my people, especially in my city. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
hey, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, I see them kids there. I see, you know, some, you know, young guys there. You know, I see a lot of me in them. And I'm really trying to like, do something to bring that back. Like, hey, we can help you. We can bring jobs. We can do stuff for our community and just not just pop in there and shake some hands and go to a couple events, but really do something here. Really do something in Michigan. Really like do something that worldwide with my people. Though.
Come on.
Like I see so many. I see everybody collectively as a race. They're all striving, and I see my people. Sometimes we're functioning on different levels, but we're not functioning together. And my biggest thing, I always wanted to start a conglomerate of a group of people, strong men, strong women, and really do something. Like, just not say about it.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to gather all the nonprofit money. I don't want to just gather all these people. I really want to make something happen, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's what you call living a purpose-driven life. And man, your story and everything that you've been through, bro, it wasn't in vain. It's what you needed to go through to get to this point. Had you not went through that, you would not have the drive and the passion that you have, and you wouldn't be able to have a testimony to tell somebody about your journey. You are a very relatable person because of where you're from and what you've been through. A lot of times we look at our stories and we think that's our stories, but our stories are a million other stories. And it's just that the difference is they don't have the platform and the ability and the surroundings and the connections to tell their stories. And so we're so proud that you have used your platform to tell your story and to uplift, encourage, and inspire. And we want to encourage you to keep going, man. And this all-star super team that you are a part of now, man. We have our work is just starting. And
I'm so thankful for that too. Like, it's a prayer that's been answered for I don't know how long. That I found a team. Outside of my fight team. Those are my family. But now I got another. Something that it's not I don't gotta gamble with it. I don't gotta risk it. I don't gotta worry about it. I can just do it.
Yep.
Like I was speaking to Ray, I was like, hey, I move fast. I'm abrasive. I can be, a little
Let's go.
with some of my stuff.
Yes, sir.
And the thing was, Ray was like, I'm the same way. Jermaine said, hey, I'm just like that. I like to get the ball rolling really fast.
And I'm the same, bro. And I'm the same way. Ray will tell you, I'm the same way. So it's the difference is, bro. As you get older, you learn how to channel that energy. You learn how to do it in a way to where it's beneficial and productive. Back in our day when we was haywire and just going off the top of the dome and just running reckless. We still running, but we're not reckless. So we still, and that's an attribute that is very much needed, especially in the black community, because we have so many people, man, that talk a good game about what they gonna do and what they want to do, but when it comes time to show and prove, they come up missing. And so those attributes and those qualities that you have, man, is much needed in the black community. Don't change who you are, just change how you do it.
Man.
I'm so thankful that you said that. Is because I at one point in my life I was like I always thought about this. I was always a person that was like always sprinting. And as I was learning and as I was getting older and everything like that, I really started to understand that I had to get to the point that it had to be more of a marathon. It had to be more of a long road. It's the same. I gave it to myself the same way if I wrote out a business proposition to give myself that 2 to 5 mark, 2 to 5 year mark, that 4 to 8 year mark, that 5 to 10 year mark. I had to do that also with my life. Sometimes I wanted to rush some of God's blessings because I was so adamant and I wanted them now, and I thought if I pushed the pace and the harder I go, the faster it would come. But sometimes it's an old saying, you know, if you go looking for it, you're gonna find it. But when you find it, are you gonna be ready for it?
Yeah,
Bro,
Tim was just talking about that.
It's so funny you say that.
Wow.
We was just having this conversation. It's like,
Wow.
I was saying this the other day, and I get chills even hearing
Wow.
you say that, because I said this the other day. It's like, a lot of times, bro, we ask for stuff that we're not ready to receive in every aspect of our life.
Right.
We want all of this and we want all this, but we're not ready to receive it, and especially in relationships as well. You ask, you know, we all have our idea of the type of man or woman we want, and this and that. We want them to do this, we want them to have this. But if you ever sit back and did a self-evaluation of your life, the things that you ask God for, the first evaluation you have to do is of yourself.
Correct.
And say, hey, am I ready to receive what God has for me?
Correct.
And if you can be honest, we hold everybody to an expectation. Sometimes we hold these people to an expectations that we don't hold ourselves. And that's the one thing that I always say. Never hold somebody to an expectations that you don't hold for yourself.
No, right.
And if you do that, you understand that we all say this thing, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. We have a lane. You know, we may sway out of it and whatever and get back in it, but we have a lane, and the more you understand your lane, and the more honest you can be with yourself, being honest with everybody else is not going to be a problem.
Correct.
And we get so upset when we look at people. We're like, hey, I just don't understand why they lie all the time. They lie all the time. Well, this person has spent their whole life lying to themselves. What makes you think that you're going to be any different?
Tim, you don't understand. I tell my sons that all the time. The day you truly learn who you are is the day you are going to be successful.
Yeah.
You have to know who you are first. I literally tell my sons that all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Trust the process, though.
That's
like
what
you're
it
saying,
is.
Like if you, like we were talking about the other day, you know, lean out on our own understanding. If you're trusting in God, we have to trust in His timing. So if you know that you're praying and you know you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, trust in His timing. You get what I mean? When things don't seem like everything is where you want it to be, you just gotta believe that it's where it's supposed to be.
You have to be there.
They're not making sense to us. That's why He's saying trust Him. It doesn't make sense to us. Like, I've been doing everything. Why is this not falling? But because you ain't ready, like you said. And He's preparing you, right? He's preparing you just like a child, right? We got him on a walker. We didn't, as a parent, we don't want you to fall.
Exactly.
But we got you with the walker because you're not ready to walk by yourself yet. And now when you're ready to walk, the walker gets taken away. And you start taking those steps.
And the Bible says, lean not to your own understanding.
I've been saying it all day today.
Correct.
1,000%. And sometimes I still believe, Mo, we kind of talked about it, man. Sometimes you got to go through the fire. God got to prune you from some things.
That's
to
right.
prepare you from some things.
That's right.
He's got to prune you from some things to prepare you from some things, right? Because He knows the conditions of your heart or why what you want, right?
Correct.
If your heart is not right for it, you're going to mess it up, man.
Correct.
So Mo, just kind of reflecting on some of the stuff we already tapped into right now, man. If you're led to share some of the things that we're going to do, and we already know how we're going to impact this building. We kind of talked about some of the stuff we got moving in the process of next week, man. Being able to bring major events on all levels, where we talk about conversations like this, having networking sessions, concerts, performance. But kind of, if you want to elaborate on some of the stuff that we got on the deck, man, sharing that with the people so they can understand, when you guys come out here, that the red carpet is laid out for our team. And obviously we're going to be taking this same model and bringing it not just in Michigan, but all over the place, brother.
And we gonna need you to pack a bag, bro. We're gonna need you to
No,
pack a
no,
bag.
hey.
Hey, and leave, bro. If you coming out here within the next month or so, leave your long sleeves, leave your coats, leave all of that. Bro, you might want to jump on a plane naked, as hot as it is out here.
Matter of fact,
but the difference is,
Las Vegas and Arizona is like my second home. I used to train out there at the MMA lab, so I've been to Arizona a lot, and Las Vegas is, I'm kind of good with the heat. I'm more I more like to train in the heat than I do in the cold, just
Yeah.
because the weight come up faster.
See that?
But yeah, like, yeah, like the things that we got on the floor. This is like something that's super exciting that what I mean. I want to share is that
Let's go.
for all the things that like we're going to bring to out there to the venue is that we're going to want to put in performers. That's just a small piece. The performers is going to come. That's self-explanatory because the venue is built, and after I did the overseeing of it, that's no questions asked. Now, my big thing is that like I always do, I love to network, so I want to have like business entrepreneurship development, conventions, bringing multiple people in here. Like for instance, like if you went to the crypto.com that was in Miami, or the crypto meetings that they had in Colorado, I want to bring that out there to Arizona, to there, bring in all the people that know multiple different connections, and just have a 3-day event. Then we can have the performers that night, and then we can have our fellowship dinners, and then from there, there's so many different levels of platforms right now. I'm working with a hydration company that's just been started up, the rise of cannabis, with cannabinoids in there. Honestly, it's going to be like world pronounced game changing. For
Absolutely.
anybody that's really into fast release and slow release. So like most medicine that you take on a cellular level takes between like 30 to 25 minutes before you feel it, good or bad. It's the same thing. And so the release that you're going to get from this hydration drink through cannabinoids, that's relaxing sensations and recovery, is up to 60 seconds. That's unspeakable. The only thing that gets you that fast, honestly, is the same substance as taking alcohol. So anything that's instant release, more people can be more tended to enjoy it and adapt to it because there's no sitting in the stomach, or because a lot of times you got, when you take your medication or you take any supplement, it says eat before take or don't eat before take.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you can eat it, you can eat with it, you cannot eat with it, and it's still going to release in 60 seconds.
Oh wow.
That's just a quick synopsis of something that I've been working on with that. Also, with the things that I have a very large impact inside the MMA world. I definitely, after seeing the venue, I would love to bring a show there.
Yes.
I spoke to some other promoters, other people there, like, hey, that would be an amazing place to do a venue at for a show. Also, on top of that, I had my hands in like multiple food truck organizations that people like link food trucks together. I think that area, like you said, the heat is there, but also Arizona is amazing weather all year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the heat is definitely here.
Oh yeah. We got that 3.5 months of heat, but the other 8.5 months,
Beautiful.
9 months. Oh yeah.
Wait, today was record breaking. Today was the hottest day, 117. It broke the record of 116 from last year.
Wow.
On the same day, you guys purchased one of the hottest buildings in Chandler.
Come on, I'm done.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's big.
Bro,
Come on.
it's amazing that the things that are happening, and I think it's even more amazing at how it's happening. And so that, man, we just, I last couple nights I ain't even really slept right, and so we just want to keep this momentum going. We want to definitely show our community what's possible. The venue that we're in, the venue that we now have access to, is bro. There's not too many of them that's like this.
No.
And believe me, the men in this room, including myself, have been on some of the biggest stages, on some of the longest red carpets, and I'm telling you, this venue that we now have the ultimate access to is something that is going to be talked about for years to come.
Absolutely, absolutely,
And that's the goal. And that's always been my goal. Is to, like, as I form this team, I know that I can form the team and we all come together and everybody's there, join in with the team, that we can make it. honestly, it's too easy. For the short period of time that I've been reconnected with Ray, we did things and met people and connected together every single day. That would took years for people to try to get done.
Come on.
Just because how adamant we was, and everybody that's in his circle showed nothing but love and trust him, his family, everybody that's in my circle was easy to be done. I said this to Ray. I said, hey, out of all my business propositions that I had did, everything that all my connections, I kind of kept them to myself not because I wasn't trying to share what I had or give back that I developed and earned, is that I never had enough time because I was doing something else, and I happened to be an overseer. 4 days ago was the first time I ever not had to be in a meeting. I said, Ray, you take care of it. You're my brother. I don't gotta be there. And because he asked me, he said, well, I want you in there on the call. You gotta be there. Big business proposition. I said, I don't gotta be there. And I was like, this is you. Like, I don't gotta be there. Well, I don't gotta be there. Like, this is you. Like, I know you. We got this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and prior to that, the 6 days before that, I said, hey, Ray, I got something really big. I think I want you a part of it. And he said, no, just shoot it to me. Let me know. And I said, this is what it is. It's honestly, it's going to be too easy. And then he said, well, I want you to be my girlfriend, Jermaine. And I said, awesome. Hey, you told me, I want to meet. I met him, we meshed, everything just made sense. So what we done did in the last 8 days,
Crazy.
the majority, it takes most people 6 months to a year to
Some a lifetime.
Yeah.
Some a lifetime. Some still trying to do it.
Hey, Mo, like this is like, how can we say this with humility? This is the small phase of what's happening next, right? Like this is the beginning of this ship. It's like when you have the dominoes, right? You build like this Lego land with dominoes, and as soon as you push the first domino, you see the process speeds up, right? Some of the stuff like, so that's what we saw in Michigan, right? So the same thing, like most people don't know that this was already taken care of back home, right? And now we see that domino effect speed up so fast out here, and we're talking about everywhere that I've been able to lay my feet in the game, it's going to be the same effect. And this is what we're talking about, generational wealth. We're talking about really creating jobs for our people to flourish and be that model. So we can just dap in and dap out, right? So, bro, this is I'm still speechless. I said I wasn't gonna talk a whole lot, man. I've done a lot of talking, man. I need to share my vocal cords.
Ray got a lot of problems. Talking ain't one of them.
Talking ain't one of them. But watch this though, come on. Because I'm comfortable around my guys because of the energy's good, right? But normally, so I'm gonna just share this with y'all, like on this platform. When the people that don't know me, man, I don't say nothing because I got to discern what I'm dealing with, right? Yeah. And I've been very, very protective of who I am as a person, as a player, man, because of where we come from, right? I just don't start dialoguing, but tell him, I try to crack his head every once. So I'm gonna talk mad. I'm gonna keep it 100 because Chicago, Michigan is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like 2 hours of race. So, but I will talk around my brothers, man, because I can be who I am. Yeah. When you playing at that level, you've been around a lot of people. You can't really be yourself sometimes. So for me, when I got a chance to be comfortable, I can I can breathe and exhale and have conversation. So he just upset because I came in here and took home court advantage on his hoop goal.
Yeah. Anyway, Mo, bro, we appreciate you. Ray always trying to put whipped cream and cherry on top of Boo Boo. He try to slide. I do jujitsu. As well, I've been doing it probably for the last 3 years. Not on the level of you. I never wanted to compete. It was more of me wanting that camaraderie from me being in the military, being a 2-tour combat veteran, and then playing professional basketball as well. That was a way that I could get that camaraderie back. Absolutely. And plus, being a cop and having that kind of training, it was just a natural. A natural transition for me to do jiu-jitsu. And I'm telling you, man, if you ever want to be humble, take a martial art.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, because you know, everybody that sit at this table, we come from a not so good, you know, background, and so you're trained. We grew up. You walk in the room, you sizing everybody up.
Yeah.
Like that's just natural.
Already.
You don't want to do that. You
Yeah.
don't want to do that because the one that you least think would do something is a bad boy or bad girl.
Right.
Will it not humble you?
I'm gonna tell you this right here. The most humblingest thing that you can do is go inside of a martial arts room. That's the first part. That's number one. That's
walking through the door.
Hey, walking through the door, you leave the second part. Coming back after you been got beat up, like you know what I'm saying?
and not just beat up, like beat up bad, like to where the whole.
I'm talking about terrible. Everything that you thought. So this is my thing, and then this is going to answer number 3. Most people, as human beings, always feel like they already know how to fight if they've been in a fight. A fight in the streets usually lasts like 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe a minute, and it usually came off of anger.
Yeah.
A martial artist, a person that trains to fight, there's no emotions involved because emotions is dangerous. You got to learn how to tap into them. You know what I mean? So it's an everyday life. For me though, I got switches. I can go from being the guy that I am right now talking to you to instantly I go straight into a pure savage. I'm about that. You know what I mean? I got 5 rounds in me all the time. That's how we keep that. But on the other hand, the martial art part of me makes me wake up every day and give back to my art. That's why it's called a martial art. It's an art. It's a dedication to my life. I dedicate that to my Samuel, to my instructor to pass it on, because if somebody does not keep the art alive, then the art dies out.
Yeah.
So when you walked into the door, you've been given a gift also. Why you can give you the gift that you left the ego there too.
Yeah.
So
and like you said, the real test is you coming back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Coming back in that door.
That's the real test, because it's a struggle, bro. Like it is a struggle to come back, especially when you have done something in your life at a high level, and then for you to come into a dojo, a gym, and you can't replicate that high levelness, especially as you get older. Because as you get older, we get set in our ways, and you know, we've accomplished a lot in our life, and so we expect, you know, we expect to be able to get to that level. And bro, when it comes to martial arts, when people say there's levels to it, there's levels. Like you could be at a belt, a color, and there's still levels to that color. Am I lying, Mo?
The thing, this is the thing though, I teach people this all the time. I was kind of blessed with my instructor. So my instructor in Taekwondo was a man that came here from Korea. He was Korean. And then my instructor that gave me my black belt in Japanese in Shotokan Karate was a Japanese man. So as I was growing up and I got to learn both of my art, I actually got to learn them very traditionally. So the olden days is that in Taekwondo, that's called China's fist. That's why it was given to Korea. It was a military art. That's why Taekwondo guys always use their feet. Karate was more of a peasant's art. That's why it was always so violent and fast, because they had to fight off for samurais, because they were peasants. They were farm workers. The same things when you use the kama and the nunchucks was for beating rice. They were all tools that was meant for slaves that was out in the fields farming rice. So when I learned that, you know what I mean, I was like, oh man, I didn't know that. So now, as I got older and I was into my, where I'm at now, it's like I still practice it every day. And all them days of standing and doing one thing over and over, throwing the same punch. And as being a little kid, like, that's not fun. And you know what I'm saying? But as I understood the art and learned it and the dominant spirit, the discipline was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Doing it every single day.
Yep.
And then as I started competing, because I had to get back to my art, because you don't know the art that you can't actually use it. So when I started really using it, like, oh, it does work. So, and then I started like competing in it and fighting in it and both of them. That's where you start to really understand, like, I've been given a gift. So that's why when someone who knows how to fight and someone knows how to, like, you know, do these things, you've been given a gift. Like a high level grappler on the ground, he knows what he's doing. It's like him playing chess. He knows what steps he's going into. He knows to get inside mountain guard and go through the guillotine, hit an arm, get back up, resting, and not and pacing himself and controlling his breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that, you know, I mean, it sticks with you forever. It's like tying your shoe.
Yeah.
But it humbled you though.
Yeah, it's so crazy because all of that stuff is applicable to life. You know, just hearing you talk about the repetition and that's the thing that separates the regular people from the blessed and the chosen, is that they are willing to do things over and over and over and over again until they get a result, because they understand that they've seen the rewards of their work and they know what it's going to take. And so to hear you say that, man, is so relatable as it pertains to life. And man, I just want to thank you for coming on the show, and thank you to all you guys, you know, for coming in once again. This is not going to be the last podcast that we, you know, update people on what we have going on, man. And like I said, you know, we are actually recreating Black Wall Street, and I'm not saying that in an animated way. I'm not saying it in you know, just to say it as an example. We are actually doing it. And if I just said this before we came on the podcast, if I had an idea of how Black Wall Street was created, it's exactly what we're doing right now. Wow. That's how I imagine Black Wall Street was created. And so we're gonna ask you guys to stay tuned. You know, keep us in your prayers. We take nothing for granted. If you have any input or any direction for us, like I always say about the podcast, we accept both negative and positive criticism. Is welcome, because we want to make sure that in every aspect of our life we're fine tuning it, and we're that we're doing God's will. And the other thing is that, you know, we're coming off correctly, and we're giving this message how it's supposed to be given. And so we're gonna sign off, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in on social media, on all the socials. We appreciate the kings that's in this room. We appreciate you, Mo, another king that's on the phone. Man, it's so enlightening, and I'm so appreciative for being a part of this, man. Stay tuned, because there's more to come. And like we in all shows, love, peace, and soul.